A very good day to one and all. This is Calvin Lee from Fig Tree Multimedia. We're going to look at some of these tips and techniques on presentation. And today we're going to look at one technique that is often overlooked. And this is what we're going to look at. We're going to understand why it is so important to pause to give your audience time to reflect and absorb what you are sharing with them. Now, if you can recall, most times when we are doing presentation, we will just rumble on and on without actually pausing. But this whole idea about pausing is important because it allows the audience to actually reflect what you're talking about, absorb, digest, and have a very good understanding about what you're sharing with them. And so the following are some slides that will show you the difference that this technique will make. Okay. Now the first slide that we are looking at is called content design. It is a slide that shares with people about some of the services at Fig Tree Multimedia. Now if you were to look at this slide straight up front, when I first clicked on it, you will discover that there is a lot of information that is just rushing out at you. Now in this case, we have 3 sub-points, which are content development, custom templates, and presentations, presentation facelifts, and enhancements. Now if you were to start a presentation with all the points coming straight at the audience, ask yourself this simple question. Will they be looking at the slide, or would they be listening to what you're saying? Let's try this with the next slide. This slide talks about content packaging, and there are 3 points that we can see here. Conference and seminars, teaching and training, promotional and sales materials. Now a lot of us do have this bad habit of just diving straight into a slide that has so much information. Often we feel naked if the slide starts with an empty space. But this is exactly the technique that we have to use, as you will see shortly, in order to give the audience confidence to know that you are managing your information flow well and not just reading off the slides. Remember, when people come and attend a presentation, be it a meeting with a client or with your team members or with your bosses, it is always about them. They are there so that you can send out whatever is necessary for them to understand. Now let's look at the next 2 slides, which are modified, and I have given them this feature called on-click, which is a very common technique in PowerPoint, but it creates a tremendous difference in allowing the audience to receive the information. Now here I go. Now you talk about content design. When they look at it, nothing distracts them except the title. And then we go on to talk about the first point, which is content development, followed by an expansion of what that point entails. We move on to the second point, which is custom templates and presentation. And we move on to an expansion of what that entails. And lastly, presentation facelifts and enhancement and whatever that comes after them. See, by doing this, it allows the audience to follow you point by point, and it expands. Now when you do that, that allows them to have a very good understanding about the big picture, and it allows them to see sequentially how you're packing the materials. Now let's try that again with the next slide, which is content packaging. Okay, the first point is conference and seminars. You go on to share about what comes under that title, or rather that sub-point. You go on to talk about teaching, and you go on to have your expansion, and then the last point followed by the expansion. So when you do that, you will discover that the audience will feel more confident, knowing that you know how to manage the amount of information that is going to them. Now during this time of pausing, it is good because it allows you to think about the next point that you want to talk about. It allows the audience also to digest and understand what you are trying to share. So the important point here that we are sharing here today is pause to give your audience time to reflect and absorb what you're talking about. Remember, everybody needs a little time to reflect and think about it. Now, to get hold of more resources and softwares that are available in order to turbocharge your presentations and your PowerPoint slides, do visit us at figtree.com.sg. Just go to our products and our resources, and you will see that there are a couple of tools there that will help you bring your presentation to a higher level. And of course, we do have workshops that are conducted over 2 days where we're going to teach you exciting stuff and also to show you some tools as well to really set yourself apart from other people. Now, if you have any inquiries and any doubts, do feel free to give us a call at 6471-3210. And the number is 6471-3210. And if you're calling outside of Singapore, just put a +65 and you can get us straight away. And this has been Kelvin at Fig Tree Multimedia. Thank you and God bless.